Hello guys, so today is a very special day because it marks exactly 1 year since I left the UK for good. Like just buying that one-way ticket, leaving for good was like the best highlight of my life 2025. So I was just reflecting today about my experience when I was in the UK. This is my personal experience, to be honest, but okay, I know it's different for others, but this is my own experience. So I'm just gonna make it like a story time as I'm making dinner. I don't know how long this video is gonna be, and I'm not sure if I'm gonna be consistent with English because this is a social chat, and being a personal story, sometimes it makes sense in my mother language, which is the language that I'm most comfortable with. So today marks exactly 1 year since I left the UK. So this transition, I planned it. But anyway, let me just take you back a little bit. So I went to the UK in 2019 and I did my first master's there. 2019 to 2020, then I went back home. Then I went again to the UK for my second master's. This one now was a double master's. So I did first year in the UK, second year in the Netherlands, and I did also some courses in France in between. Okay, so when I finished my studies in the Netherlands now, I had already planned. I'm one person who plans my things like I have a 5-year plan for everything. So the plan was once I finished my studies, I had my plan A, my plan B, my plan C. My plan A delayed. My plan B failed. My plan C was going back to the UK on COS, on sponsorship. So I got the sponsorship when I was in the Netherlands. I was very fortunate to get that sponsorship because that company had stopped sponsoring offshore. But I got the sponsorship, and I was very fortunate that the code for that COS allowed dependence. It was different from the code for senior carers and carers, which didn't allow dependence. My code it allowed dependence. So when I finished my studies in the Netherlands, I already had my visa. That was in July 2024. So I went back to Zimbabwe, and for like 2 months or so, because where I was gonna work, it was a school. So schools, they close for summer holidays in the UK for like 6 weeks. So for those 6 weeks, I had to just go home and then start on a new term in September. So I went home. But then I was contemplating whether I really wanted to go back to the UK. But then, with the support of friends and family, they encouraged me to go and say, okay, just go. You need the money, and your husband, your kids can join you there since your thing, your COS allows dependence. But for me, I wasn't really convinced that I want this. So I went to the UK. So I went on my own. I was very fortunate that the school offered accommodation, so I was staying in the school before my husband came. But the thought of bringing my kids, I wasn't prepared for that. But I had no option. I was like, if my plans delay, I have no option than to bring my kids. But then another thought was like, no. Do I really want to stay here? I want to go home. Like, Zimbabwe has 16 million people. They are surviving. No matter how difficult it is, they are surviving. I don't want this. I want to be home. But then, you know what? I had to just, go. So I went. I stayed at that school. I was working there. Let me tell you one thing. I would hear people discussing about me that kana chikoro kana vanhu vakadzidza vachiita chimabasa ichi chikoro hachibhadhari. That would come into my ears. But there was nothing I could do. You can't stop people from saying whatever they want to say to you. But also at the back of my mind, I knew what I was planning with my life. Yeah? I knew what I was planning with my life, so I wasn't really bothered about whatever they were saying about me. But when I started doing the job now, because when I was a student, I wasn't really bothered about doing whatever job. Besides, I was on scholarship, fully funded scholarship, so I would get money every month. Then working part-time as well means I was also having an extra income, So to be honest, financially I was okay. Like financially I was good. But now reality struck. I'm now working full time on COS. I looked at the salary. For me, this is not what I wanted. It wasn't what I wanted. It didn't match what I wanted. Looking at the job, waking up very early in the morning or going to bed very late in the evening, I didn't want that. At work, maybe this is my problem. I struggled with the instructions, how they were coming. I found them to be really belittling, if I can say. Like being given simple instructions like wipe that door handle, go and fold those clothes, can you clean this floor? Like, basic instructions. Some of the things that you're going to be doing that, but then someone just wants to be pushing you around. So I really struggled with that. I think for most people who have been in leadership positions, once you get to a position where you are now the subordinate and the person who's leading you also isn't really a good leader or a good communicator, I think you can you can understand what I'm trying to say. Like you just feel like but anyway, then it happened that I started to have pain, just one leg, pain under my feet from nowhere. I tried buying, those comfortable Skechers shoes, but nothing changed. Why? Because we would stand for long hours. Like they wouldn't want to see you standing, like sitting. Even if you are taking a coffee, you sit down taking a coffee. To whoever sees you, you've been sitting for hours. So you would always be on your toes standing. It started frustrating even more. Then I didn't have a car because I was like, I'm not really sure if I want to be in this space for long. So I didn't buy a car. Walking long distance from home to work. Why? Because this school was located in a small village. So in that small village, there's no like reliable public transport as compared to big cities, like when I used to live in Sheffield or when we would go to London. So that was another issue. I would walk long distances from home going to work. So that's when I started crying now. I would cry going home. I would cry going to work. But sometimes I would sing and cry. That's how I would do it. And because the money wasn't enough as well, I had to look for a second job. Hey, that's when problem multiplied. So this job was in a care home. Jesus Christ. In a care home, you don't sit down. In a care home, most care homes, they are understaffed. Like in that care home, I'm sure they are understaffed because we would be 2 or 3 carers and one nurse, and having maybe 17 to 20 or 15 to 20 elderly people. So it means if you are 2 carers, 3 carers in that nurse, the nurse doesn't do all those manual handling. It means the 3 of you, one person is doing singles, the other 2 are doing doubles. That was a lot of work for me. Like I was like, this is a lot of work. Okay. And then I continued, but then the crying didn't stop. I was just emotional. Like nobody wronged me. Nobody wronged me. I was just emotional. I was crying. I was like, what's happening? Is this, how long is this going to go on? Like that was my feeling, my situation that time. The other thing is we also struggled to get rental property. Why? Because my husband was doing a casual role. So those what do you call them? You have a pet. They want my contract. They want on a full-time employment. So we couldn't really get a rental property in that small village. So we were living in a shared accommodation. Guess how much I was paying for that double room? We paid £850 for that double room in a shared accommodation. That's a story for another day. Like living in that shared accommodation. So yeah, I started, being sad. At the same time, I started feeling exhausted. Like my body, I can't say I did so much work, but I was exhausted. Do you know when your off day comes, the only thing that you want is to bath, eat, and sleep? That's how I was feeling. I was so exhausted. Jesus Christ, I don't know how to say it. And the days when there is snow, when it's cold, when it's raining, I would walk, no matter what, I would walk to work in that weather. And I would cry. I was just emotional. I was like, I don't want this. So the day when I bought my tickets to leave the UK, trust me, I don't know how to express how I felt. I couldn't wait for that day. I put my resignation to the manager. I put my resignation like a month ago. See this date in this air fry. I put my resignation. I bought my air tickets. Which flight did we use? Did we use Qatar or Emirates? I don't know. I think we used Qatar. I think so, or Emirates. I don't know. But yeah, I was just looking forward to that flight, and I didn't struggle packing my things. I was very intentional about leaving the UK, so I didn't have any clothes. I think I had like 5 t-shirts, maybe 5 jeans, or maybe 3 pairs of shoes. When it comes to kitchenware, I had like 2 mapoto, 2 matlets, 2 cups. That's how intentional I was about leaving the UK, because I was telling myself that even if it means my other, plans had failed, I'm just gonna go home. I can't continue. Why? Because in as much as things are difficult in Zimbabwe, but we have people, 16 million people are in Zimbabwe, and they are living, they are surviving. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna join them. To be honest, I can't keep up with this. So I packed my, all our belongings. I gave notice to the landlord. Guys, you don't know how it feels. And I was telling myself that as soon as I get home, I want a full body massage. That's what I was telling myself. That I want a full, because I was feeling exhausted. Like my shoulders, I was feeling like somebody sitting on me. That's how I was feeling. My legs, like everything was just heavy. So yeah, we finally left and we went home. We went to Zimbabwe. As soon as I got to Zimbabwe, ask me, did I get the full body massage? Not at all. I don't know what happens. As soon as I got to RG, like I felt like a heavy load has been shifted off me. That's how I felt. I felt so light. And when we got home, my dad was like, you know what? You did a good thing coming back home. If you were going to say that you don't have money for flight tickets, I was going to send you money to come back home. Then I was like, it's only now that I'm reflecting to say, did I complain to him? Did I say anything bad to him? Why did you feel that I'm struggling, isn't I'm not myself? Like, guys, if you ask me to point what exactly was frustrating me, I don't know. Should I say the weather? Should I say the waking up early and the sleeping late? Should I say, I can't say the job is really that bad and tiresome, but somehow you just feel exhausted. Maybe this is just me. Maybe for others it's different. But as soon as I got home, I was like, I can't believe, guys, that life sometimes, can be like that. But to be honest, just that experience of being in the UK, I think has shaped me to be the person I am today. I'm very resilient no matter the situation. And right now, like everything or anything that I come across, I can't find the, what do you call it, that thing to pick my meat. I don't even know where it is. I'm gonna use this. No, I'm very resilient because I think I've been exposed to those conditions where you've got no option than to be resilient. Now I'm one person who doesn't like challenge authority because being in the UK, right? Being on sponsorship, it means you really need to be of good behavior, or else the sponsor may revoke your, may revoke the license. So now I'm of good behavior. I don't challenge authorities. I'm a hard worker. Like, yeah, that was my experience. And yeah, I don't know what else to say, but I learned life the hard way. Now, if you ask me to visit the UK, if it's just for a day, at the moment, no, I'm okay. At the moment, no. Um, yeah, so today marks exactly 1 year since we left the UK. I can say that it's a country that is full of opportunities. But if you're not psychologically prepared for it, it can actually drain you. I always say that words like, I'm feeling anxious, I'm feeling depressed, I'm feeling stressed. Ndakatanga kuti mashandiso ndaenda ku-UK ndasingamazivi. But yes, it is what it is. But my student experience was very, very beautiful. It's only this working experience now that I was in full-time employment that yeah, it wasn't as easy as I thought. But for some, it's, like cutting margarine with the whatnot is very easy. But for me, those 8 months that I worked, I struggled quite a lot. I struggled. So thank you guys for sticking around, just listening to this story as I was making my dinner. I'm still in the kitchen, I'm still making dinner. But thank you so much for, sticking around.